What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to our weekly podcast. We are batting practice. I'm Josh. That's Jacob. Andrew is down there. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. Andrew, you said you're coming down with a cold. I am not, knock on wood, coming down with a cold, but I might sound a little hoarse because there's a lot of yelling going on yesterday. We'll get into it. But before we get into it, boys, how are we doing on this fine, warm October Sunday afternoon?
Were you yelling at how bad the North Carolina football team with
Oh, they looked
with Bill
so bad.
Belichick is? Were you yelling at that
Yes.
by chance?
Yes. But the Panthers made up for it today.
The Panthers did make up for it today.
Most
Undefeated at home, baby.
weirdest football team currently in the NFL is the Panthers.
I might be the Packers.
Might be, I don't know. The Panthers beat the Falcons 30 to nothing, and then the next week lost like 43 to 10.
Panthers are only half game behind the
Yeah,
Packers.
That is true. That is
it's
true.
crazy. They won the
Weird.
bye week.
Both weird. They won the
Yeah,
bye week.
yeah, we're doing good. It playoffs are hot and heavy in the MLB as we hop right in with some football talk. I watched a decent amount of baseball this week. And on the podcast, when I watch a lot of baseball, it's always a good week. But when it's playoff baseball, it's a little extra special. Plus, when your team has the bye week, mute button full effect. When your team has the bye week, it's nice to kind of sit back and relax and hope they're prepared, of course, but also just watch some baseball, watch some unconsequential to yourself baseball. Unless you're rooting, say, for the Padres to beat the Cubs so the Brewers don't have to play the Cubs, even though the baseball gods wanted the Brewers to play the Cubs, it was inevitable. Which, Nosh, it sounds like you might have been doing some yelling involving that. We'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, life's been good. It's playoff baseball, and we're not Yankees fans, so life's been good.
Heck yeah.
Okay, if the Yankees get swept, who's going to be more miserable at the end of the season? Mets fans or Yankees fans?
Oh, the whole state of New York.
Hmm.
They got Jackson Dart, so maybe Sundays will be a good day, but he looked tr terrible today, so take that with a grain of salt. But I don't know, guys. Like Mets fans were really down. We saw the posts, we saw the angry messages, even to the Brewers. Anyone that was associated with the Mets, other than really their own team, they seem fine with the owner. But Yankees, if they get swept, I honestly think they'll have a more disappointing season than the Mets did.
It's tough
Yeah.
because the Mets didn't make the postseason, so it's almost not fair to say that. And the Yankees already won a round in the postseason. So
Meaningless round.
yeah, not a meaningless round. They knocked off their biggest rival in history out of the
Yeah,
playoffs.
that's fair. That's fair against the Sox.
Yeah. And I would say I'd still lean towards like the Mets got to make the playoffs with that roster. You got to make the playoffs. But Yankees fans have World Series aspirations. That's where they were last year, and they didn't do it, and that's where they want to go back this year. And so far, they're down 1-0 against the Blue Jays. They're losing at the time of recording this 12-2, if I'm not mistaken. That's 23 runs in about 16 innings for the Blue Jays. That's incredible. So if the Yankees do lose this game, which is looking ever so likely, and then go to New York and get swept, I could see why you could argue the Yankees too. So
Yeah.
either way, New York's not feeling great when it comes to baseball. Not
No.
so much.
No, they are not.
Is is Aaron Judge clutch? Does he
Okay.
have that gene? He's clearly has a lot of,
Um,
he's very tall, athletic,
He's
but
very tall.
does he have the clutch gene? Is he clutch?
I haven't seen it yet.
yeah. It kind of reminds he's the hitter version of Clayton Kershaw.
Ooh,
Oh,
Thoughts?
that's a debate for you. The hitter version, the postseason hitter version of Clayton Kershaw, you mean?
Postseason hitter version. Yeah. Postseason wise, yes. just like art like arguably one of the best hitters ever during the regular season, but then not that great in the postseason.
I
I
think he
would
went, didn't he go 3 for 4 yesterday though? Or like
all
something like
singles,
that.
still lost, still lost.
But the one at bat when he needed it most, he struck out.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah,
so
bases loaded,
that's
no
why
outs.
you can't look at the box score. The box score lies sometimes about a player's impact. Uh, but yeah, that box score doesn't do it justice.
So Aaron Judge in 62 games in his postseason career is batting 217 with 51 hits in 235 at bats. Now he's
How many
got
homers?
16 homers, so about
Okay.
a third-ish of those hits are homers. But still, 217 compared to his career batting average is way under. It's way under. So you could say that about Kershaw, where his career stats are way under where they should be in the postseason. You could say that about Judge currently for his offense. Maybe he goes ahead and hits a home run in his next at bat and shuts us up. I don't know. But I can see where your comparison's coming from for sure.
Is there a clutch statistic in baseball?
Oh, there's got to be one on like
Right?
Baseball Savant.
I mean, I guess like your batting average with runners in scoring position would
Yes.
indicate some level of clutchness, but
Hmm.
like there should be a quantifiable statistic for clutch value in baseball. That'd be
Hmm.
fun.
Yeah,
You know,
later on in the inning, maybe John Boys, the guy who did the scoregami, can come up with a stat if that doesn't already exist. Came up with scoregami for football. He
mhm.
would definitely be the type to develop a stat like that, a clutch factor. So yeah, if it doesn't exist, I could definitely see in it. But yeah, all right. What do you say? It's postseason baseball. Let's react to the first round of the playoffs real quick, and then we'll overreact to the first couple of games in the DS. Any particular series stand out to you guys? Andrew and I, Nosh, talked about the Dodgers Reds probably the least last week because we were like the
Hmm.
Dodgers are going to win. That's what
Yep.
happened. They kind of dominated. Reds tried to squeak back late on in both games, but it didn't really work because the Dodgers were already up by too many runs. Do we need to? Is it all right to glaze over this series here? Is there anything that we need to talk about? Otani has been crushing it in the postseason so far, both on the pitching side and the offensive side. So that's hard to skip past. Teoscar in my so rare
Yep.
lineup, killing it.
Defensively though, I don't know.
Who
Liability.
cares? Ain't no so rare
Hey,
points on defense.
as long as you score more than the other team,
That's
Okay.
true.
right? Right? Big brain
Mike
over here.
McDaniels.
No, I don't think I think that series went about as expected for everybody. I don't think anyone really thought that the Reds were going to put up a huge fight against the Dodgers. I'm curious if the Mets somehow got in, how the Mets would have looked against the Dodgers. I think that would have been an interesting series. Probably more competitive if we had to guess than the Reds were, but of the four wild card series, that one was obviously the one that we kind of expected to go that way, and you could argue the least exciting.
Also the only one to go 2 games. The rest of them went
Yep.
Correct.
all of the distance. I guess we'll stay in the NL then.
Well,
Andrew and
I
oh
got
yeah, oh
one
yeah,
thought
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
I
Any
got one
other
thought there.
observations? Yeah.
Obviously the Dodgers win, but you have to look forward. I would be concerned as a Dodgers fan about their bullpen. Looking at the other teams out there who, might not have the aces that the Dodgers clearly have. But once you move on to their bullpen, I don't know, guys. It seems to me the cracks are showing there. And if you're an opposing team and you're like, if you're even if you are trailing the Dodgers late, I think you still have hope. And I think even if strike out 3 times against the starter, that fourth time against a reliever, maybe for those early people in your order, I if the Dodgers lose, I think it's going to be their bullpen. Do you guys do you see anything there or any other strengths, weaknesses for that team?
I
Yeah, I
think,
would
yeah,
say on the other hand, if their bullpen clicks, they're unstoppable.
True.
So Roki Sasaki has been coming out of the
yeah.
bullpen and has looked really good.
I love that
Yeah,
decision by
the
just
Dodgers,
blank
Dave Roberts.
Dave Roberts, thank you. I think it's awesome that he's coming out of the bullpen. I think that's super fun. It's gonna be fun to watch that develop with the Phillies series. We'll get into the Phillies series, so I don't want to jump ahead too much, but it is clear that the Dodgers bullpen is arguably the weakest link of that team and arguably one of the weaker bullpens left in the postseason right now, which
Oh
is
yeah.
a scary thought in the postseason. Teams that seem to have lockdown bullpens seem to do the best in postseason baseball. So it is a little bit scary from the Dodgers' perspective that that is their kind of issue.
Yeah, so far it hasn't needed to rear its ugly head. They did just fine against game one against the Phillies. So we still saw the Dodgers only gave up 3 runs to the first game against the Phillies. Like you said, we'll talk about that in a sec after we get to Cubs Padres here. Real quick, we're NL Central people here. We're Brewers fans. We're about to talk Brewers Cubs, but for next year, should we be worried about the Reds? They have
Ooh.
basically negative playoff experience. I mean, we're looking at Noel V. Marte going up and robbing home runs to save the Reds postseason. Meanwhile, he's coming off of an 81 game suspension, I believe, last year for PEDs and hasn't had a lick of postseason experience. Same with most of that Reds roster. And now they've got a little bit under their belt. They know what it's like. They know what it's like to pop the champagne bottles. Could the Reds finish second or even compete for the division next year? Or are the Brewers and Cubs and possibly even nah, do we talk about the Cardinals or nah, it's too early to talk about. Do the Reds have power enough to overtake the Brewers and the Cubs? Or is it too early
I
to react? It's too early to
it's
react, but let's do it
yeah,
anyways.
yeah. I mean, if we're gonna, it's so hard to tell what teams are gonna look like going into next year. Look at how the Brewers went into this year. Their projected win total is like in the
83,
70s.
83.
Or I was gonna
83 and
say,
80,
yeah. I
83
don't
and
even think it was that
79.
high. I think it was like,
It
yeah,
was
I don't
83 and
even,
79, I think.
but like no clear, like so they could be really good, and I think the NL Central has a chance to be one of the better divisions, more competitive divisions going into next year. Brewers, Cubs, Reds. I could see the Cardinals being relatively competitive. The Pirates exist, I guess. But yeah, I guess I'm not worried about them because I think their success is fun to watch. I don't hate the Reds. Um, but I don't think they're quite gonna be in the same tier as the Brewers and the Cubs next year. But I think they will still be competitive for the division and a wild card spot again next year.
All right. All
Yeah, I
right.
mean, they clearly took a step forward. Making the
Hmm.
playoffs is an accomplishment. They hadn't been to the playoffs, I think, since the late or early 2010s. It's been a while since they've even cracked that surface. And honestly, with a young roster, just having like building up that resume is so important. So yeah, I think the Reds will be a force to be reckoned with next year, and I think that is the one positive takeaway for this Reds team that unfortunately got swept by the Dodgers. But I think yeah, I think you can as a Reds fan look to next year and see it positively.
Yeah, there's players like Key Brian Hayes and
I mean,
oh my
Ellie,
gosh,
Ellie.
Miguel Andujar. No, players that weren't on the Reds the whole season.
Oh,
Key
oh yeah.
Brian Hayes, Miguel Andujar, and they'll have them maybe for a full season next year. So yeah, keep an eye on the Reds. But we're not talking about you anymore because see you later. Dodgers knocked you out. Yeah, let's hop on over to Cubs Padres real quick. Andrew, you and I both predicted with our hearts and not with our heads that the Padres were going to win. But the baseball gods wanted Brewers Cubs. It was inevitable, just like it was that the Dodgers were going to sweep the Reds. But it's what the people Maybe, maybe not. I'm not entirely sure. I'm already seeing videos of fans getting kicked out of Miller Park day one. Cubs fans, by the way. What on earth is happening? No, Padres, come on. They put up a fight in game two. Game three, boom. 3-0. The entire game. The entire game. Ninth inning comes around. Jackson Merrill home run to lead it off. Okay, we're putting up a fight. Xander Bogaerts walks. Psych. Strike three called on a pitch below the zone for out number one of the inning, and this pretty much shut down the Padres. They did actually put a couple more runners on base, but weren't able to do it. Fermin just missed it on the bat. Just missed a go-ahead home run on the bat. Flew out to center field to end the game. Padres were not very happy campers. Going after the umps after the game was a little kind of like,
It's
yeah,
tense.
they missed the call. And sure, it was a huge call in that scenario, but also like put up some runs earlier in the game, dude.
Don't
Like,
put yourself in that situation.
yeah, you scored 0 runs until the ninth inning.
Yeah,
So,
I was digging into the Padres offense more after watching this series, considering they put up 5 runs, I think, in 3 games. That offense stunk. The offense was not that great all year. I guess I didn't realize it. I don't know why I assumed the Padres to have such a good offense. Guys like Tatis, Machado, um, those
Jackson
type of
Merrill.
players, Jackson Merrill. He was kind of hurt
hurt.
in and
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
this year. But Tatis had a down year. Machado
You
was
should
really
know
the
that from your
only.
so rare
I do
purchase.
know that. I knew Machado. I knew Tatis, yes, but Machado was kind of the only one really that was like consistently good all year. The rest was very questionable, and it showed in the playoffs. The Cubs have a good pitching staff. They have a pretty good bullpen apparently. And they looked pretty darn good against the Padres and made their offense go quiet and they're out. Tough for the Padres, tough to be a Padres fan. Even more tough watching your big brother continue to be your big brother.
Hmm.
Yeah. It seemed like there was a couple of years ago, I forget exactly the year, but the Padres seemed like they kept taking steps forward. I feel like this exit in a way feels like they've taken a step back where they seem further from a World Series than they did even a couple of years ago.
Which is crazy because they went in at the deadline. They
Right.
went crazy.
Right.
They have the
Right.
best bullpen in baseball. But if you don't score runs, you can't win. You can't win the game.
Didn't they have three all-star relievers this year, if I'm correct?
Yeah.
Adam, who got hurt,
Yeah.
and then Morahone and Robert Suarez.
Yeah.
Yeah, three all-star relievers, but can't win games if you don't put up runs. 5 runs in 3 games. Yeah, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it, especially against the Cubs. Even a cold-ish Cubs offense is still going to beat you most of the time if you're only putting up 5 runs in 3 games. So, rip. Some of my so rare players have a lot of Padres stacked up, just how it kind of lined up, and they're out. So, see you guys later. My lineups are slowly dwindling. That's okay. I'm saving my ETH for so rare NBA. Definitely. Oh,
There you go.
you mute the camera for a
Back.
second? Yeah. I say let's stay in the NL and then we can go full on AL in a sec. But yeah, Cubs move on and they are now playing your Milwaukee Brewers first game in. Michael Busch, couple pitches in, see you later baseball, silences the crowd, and that lasts about 5 minutes. And the Brewers just pile on in the first 2 innings and don't need to do anything else offensively. A little bit scary that they didn't do anything else offensively after the first 2 innings. Maybe, maybe, maybe. But it doesn't matter because they go ahead and win 9-3 in the first game against the Chicago Cubbies. Great start for us Brewers fans. And there's nothing that you can really complain about other than the hitting after inning two. But Freddie pitched great, struck out a bunch of batters. Bullpen gave up what, 1 run, which
Yeah, Kane gave up a homer.
Kana gave up a home run to Ian Happ, I believe it was, right?
It was Horner.
It's Horn. Oh yeah, a rare Nico home run. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah. So the Cubs had 3 runs off of 3 solo home runs.
yeah,
So yeah, scary if they put a couple people on base because that 3 turns into 7 or 8 real quick. So
exactly.
yeah, reactions, Nosh,
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm a little hoarse. The yelling was all positive, which
Pony.
is good. A lot of excitement going on in that game. Um, I will say this though, I am cautiously optimistic. That's like my favorite thing to say. Um,
No, it depends. Is
It
it
depends. Yeah.
depends. It depends is also a good one.
Hmm.
But we have to remember, like, it's a long series. 5 games is long. It's down to four. Brewers have to win two, Cubs have to win three. Um, but we were the Brewers did what they were supposed to, and I don't think that the Cubs should really like be upset by that per se. The Brewers needed to win game one. When you look
Oh
at
yeah.
it, you cannot go to Wrigley with the opportunity to have the Cubs clinch the the series. So the Brewers were supposed to win game one. Um, the thing that would concern me the most as a Cubs fan right now would be pitching Boyd on 3 days rest and having him stink, but he kind of stinks against the Brewers this year. So that confuses me a lot. I don't know why Counsell went Boyd in that game when you had other options. You could have done a bullpen day, could have gone to a starter into Colin Ray. It could have been a lot of different things. I don't know if I would have chosen Boyd there. But yeah, I don't know. It feels good as a Brewers fan, but I am not saying the series is over. I am cautiously optimistic. That's the best way I can phrase it.
Cautiously optimistic. So my take, and I think you're going to agree with this, hearing your cautiously optimistic rhetoric. My take is that, and I think this would reign true even if it went the other. No, I think this still reigns true only if the Brewers win game one. Whoever win game two is going to win the whole thing. Not the
I
World
think
Series is going
that's
to win the DS.
I think that's
Whoever
fair.
wins game two wins the DS. The Cubs win, they take the momentum into Wrigley. That's scary. Even though there's 2 games only at Wrigley and the Brewers technically have home field advantage, the Cubs have the hammer in the home field advantage department, and they would be able to clinch in that 4th game of the series. Brewers take game two. Cubs with the reverse sweep having to do 2 games at Wrigley and then coming back to Milwaukee. That seems pretty tough to do as well. So whoever takes this next game tomorrow night past my bedtime as of recording this, once this episode's uploaded, we'll already know. So, but that's my takeaway from the series so far. Game one, big success, but you need to do it again, game two.
Yeah.
just do it every game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like the
That's
Blue
true.
Just
Jays, just like the Blue
just
Jays.
win every game. Just win every
Yeah.
game. It's that easy.
Score
It's that
more
easy.
than your opponent.
Hmm.
Exactly.
Hey,
It's that easy.
if Brewers went on a 15-game winning streak this year, if they go on a 10-game winning streak, they win the World Series.
That is true. That is true. It's
If you think
possible.
if you think about it that way. Blue Jays only need a 9-game winning streak to win the World Series. How about
There
that?
you go.
Blue
They're
Jays
sitting the
fans.
best right now.
Yeah. Unless have the Yankees come back? I haven't checked. I haven't
That
even
would
bothered
be
to
an
Couldn't tell
amazing
you.
it's just
comeback.
like I haven't even it's one of those games that I planned on having up on the second monitor and I was like, "Oh, I don't need to. I can just conserve my battery power and just not have it up because it was 12 to 2." So, yeah. Yeah, so Nash, you were there. Did you get there
You went to
early?
the
Did you
game?
get you or were you
No,
just
I did
yelling?
not. I did
You were
not go
just
to the
yelling.
game. I was yelling at
Okay.
the TV. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
I did not go to the game.
There in
Okay.
spirit.
Tickets were like 200 to 300 to get in the door.
Yep.
It's pretty
That's just
They
impressive.
are
Chicago.
they are, I will say this. If you go look now, they are nowhere near the prices that they were before the Brewers won game one. What
Hmm.
does that tell you? Thanks, Cubs fans.
A lot of tolls. A lot of tolls being paid.
Tolls.
Don't
Tolls.
let the door hit you on the way out.
Wow. Hey, you won't be so So let's just see how games two goes. See how game two goes. See how game two goes. Whoever wins game two is going to take the whole thing. And yeah, any other thoughts about this series other than us being homers? Andrew, you
I,
got any final thoughts?
it's an interesting factoid. They said at the beginning of the broadcast that this is the first time the Brewers and Cubs have ever met in the postseason. I couldn't believe that. Obviously, the Brewers were in the AL for a long time, so to meet the Cubs would be in the unlikely World Series, which Brewers have only been once. So
It's
I obviously
Cardinals.
that makes sense. And with them being in the same division, I guess the odds of them one being a wild card team, one winning the division, then both making it into either the second round or someone's got to win that first round probably, or maybe even two rounds. So yeah, so it is actually unlikely, but it for all of the rivalry between the Cubs and the Brewers, it is kind of crazy that this is the first postseason meeting between the two teams.
Hmm.
Right.
There was that
Absolutely.
game 163 in
Oh, that's
20
right.
2018, was it? Or
That was,
2019?
yep, that was
2018.
2018. Yep.
2018, I believe. Yeah.
That
Yep.
counts. We'll count
Hmm.
that one.
Hmm.
That was at Wrigley. That was at Wrigley.
At Wrigley. Lorenzo
Yeah.
Cain, baby.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. So there you go. That's the one of the NL matchups going on. The other one taking
Ooh, this is
place,
good.
NL West versus NL East. Philly takes a 3-0 lead going on. Nothing's happening for the Dodgers offensively.
On
Shohei
Otani too.
Ohtani has struck out three
Yep.
times already. Bullpen comes in. They put a couple guys on. Teoscar, see you later, baseball. Dodgers go ahead, eventually take the lead. Don't look back from there. They take game one. Man, Teoscar is just going off in the postseason right now. He went
That's
off
what he
against the
does.
Reds. He's doing it again against the Phillies. I have him in Sorare. Great fantasy player to have. Plays anyone on the Dodgers is really, but Teoscar for sure. Pitching in the Dodgers so far in game one looked pretty all right.
Yeah.
Pretty all right.
Bullpen
Yeah.
looked good.
Bullpen looked good. What is this the Dodgers that we're supposed to be officially scared of? Because if they're doing this every game, they're going. You want me to say it? They're going.
There,
I said it every week.
there's something about this lineup that when you hear it, when you see it in October, it just hits different. I don't know why. Like seeing the
Literally.
names, like
They literally
in
hit
in
different.
June, oh, let's Mookie, Freddie Freeman, Otani, Teoscar, Max Muncy when if he's playing. They have stars, but I think the answer to the clutch gene is the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think that
Hmm.
team is just clutch. They
Mhm.
show up in the biggest moments. Their lineup hits different. It just hits different in October. And as a Dodgers fan, I think you just sit back, kick your feet up, and watch your team win the World Series. It's that easy.
Kike Hernandez, man.
Yeah.
Dude, they just have those
He's
guys.
yeah.
Like you, every year there seems to be a collection of players, not a lot of them, that go off in the playoffs, and they just do crazy things that they don't normally do during the regular season. And it's always seems to be that one or two of them are on the Dodgers. Like I don't get it. Like Tommy Edmond, like is Tommy Edmond a
Yeah.
good baseball player? He's all right, but like he's so good for them. Why? Why? Why is Kike like the best hitter in baseball in the playoffs? It doesn't make
Clutch.
sense.
It does because it's the Dodgers. It makes
Phil-
sense. It makes perfect
Phillies
sense.
in five? Question
Phillies in
mark.
five.
I don't know.
They could still
That
take it in
is
four.
that's a tough place to be. Um, so much pressure on game two. Like you have to win game two, or else you're going away two games and you have to win both of those. The reverse sweep, like you said, is so hard to do. So if I'm a Phillies fan, I am not feeling great about where we're at.
And they use their ace too. They use Sanchez.
Yeah. Who do you
Yeah.
throw game two? You cannot trust Nola.
It can't be Nola.
It's gonna have
No.
to be Lazardo, I guess.
Or Suarez?
Yeah, that's
And they have,
tough. That's a tough place
we'll
to be.
see, maybe a lefty,
Place to
yeah,
be.
to counter some of those lefties. But it's like, but then you have Teoscar, you have Kike,
Yeah, the lineup is so
you have
good.
Mookie.
And the guys, we're naming players that are not the 3 or 4 former MVPs in their
Yeah.
Well,
lineup.
I said Mookie. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but the other guys just seem to step up, and that's what you need, and they get it most of the time.
this is without Will Smith, by the way, All-Star Will Smith, by the way.
Yeah.
True, true, insane,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely
So
insane.
you don't. So with game two, obviously we said Brewers Cubs winner of that wins the series. You don't. Do you? It sounds like you guys are not subscribing to that for this series.
I don't.
I
Game one
think
was so
if
big. If the Phillies can take game two, I do think they can go into LA and take another game and bring it back. If the Dodgers win game two, no chance.
Hmm.
The away, this is the opposite of Brewers
Yep.
Cubs. The away team won the
yeah,
first game. So home field advantage is completely out the window.
yeah, I was gonna say I feel like if Dodgers win game two, they win the series. If Phillies win game two, it goes to five, and I couldn't tell you who's gonna win.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That's the game five would be a total toss up for me.
Well, hopefully we'll get to there and
Hopefully,
we can watch and sit back as baseball fans.
hopefully.
Baseball fans not doing so well in Cleveland, not
Ooh,
doing so well in Boston. Let's hop on over to the AL. Andrew, we both of us, I believe, picked the Yankees to take
That's
the
correct.
series
Yep.
against Boston, and it looked a little bit scary. Not scary. As Yankees fans, it looked a little bit scary. Now it's looking real scary. But against Boston, and they managed to come back and do it. Cam Schlittler, you ever heard of him before?
Whoa. I don't think you're supposed to say that
I don't know.
name.
Yeah, did we just get the explicit logo
Yep.
next to the
Yep.
pod?
Oh no.
I don't think he has. He might. So don't quote me on this, but he might be one of those players who has so rare cards, but you can't get him on the market. Like he has a
Hmm.
common card, but you can't get him because he doesn't exist on the market, like a Brandon Woodruff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
but he pitched incredibly, like untouchable against the Red Sox. They couldn't do anything about the Yankees. Go ahead, win game three, and come up and face the Blue Jays. Any reaction from Boston versus
Did
New
Do
York
you
or
guys know the origin of the Schlittler?
the last name?
No, no. He
like
is
from your
from
intestines?
the
I
no,
was gonna be like probably German. Okay.
he's a Boston guy. He's
Yes, he
Boston
grew up
His
a
through and
Red
through.
family,
Sox
yeah,
fan.
grew up a Red Sox fan.
Yes.
Grew up a Red Sox fan. His family's Red Sox fan, like hardcore. Obviously, he goes to Yankees. So not only I get it, you have to. It's your job. You play. You're professional. You put your feelings aside sometimes. But the thing that's crazy is his apparently his whole family converted to being Yankees fans.
Oh, I didn't know
That'd be
that.
like one of us becoming a Cub.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, guys. I think I'm drawing the line. If one
I
of
was gonna
you
say,
suddenly wakes up and has the arm of God and becomes a pitcher for the Cubs, I'm sorry. I'm not cheering. Maybe I'll cheer for you, but I am not cheering for the Cubs
okay, wait, if one of us has a kid that becomes a professional baseball player and plays for the Cubs,
or manages.
or yeah, yeah, exactly, grows up in Whitefish Bay, yeah, what do you do in that situation? I mean, you have to root for him. It's your own kid.
So if he
But I will
plays for a
say though,
team you don't like, yeah.
I like converting from a Red Sox fan to a Yankee fan. That's just not real. That doesn't exist.
Even
Like
but it's like your
you,
son, your
I don't care. I like that is like one of the biggest rivalries in sports.
Yeah.
I just don't get how like personally right now I despise the Cubs. And like I like deep morally I there's no part of me that could become a Cubs fan.
But
Am I
what if
crazy?
Lulu?
Is that a
What if
crazy thing to say?
what if Lulu got to be the official dog of the Chicago
Ooh.
Cubs? Would
Pass.
you support that? Would you, you know, would that sway your opinion?
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't.
So yeah, the family converting is kind of wild to me. I thought we'd do the hypothetical with one of us, but I don't know. I think it would be hard to root against your own flesh and blood or, a relative, even if they're playing for a team that you grew up despising, still maybe
It's true.
despise on some level.
It's true. I don't know. It would be tough.
Do you think
Yeah.
they converted like right away when he was drafted? Or do you think it took him
Surely it took a
up
say
until they were
surely
like, he's not gonna reach the bigs with the Yankees. He's gonna come to Boston eventually.
Yeah.
hopefully it
It
took
play
some time.
I don't know.
To
I
do
don't
it
know.
right away, that would to me that proves that you just weren't like fully it wasn't a part of you.
They
But
weren't
it's your
real
kid. It's
fans.
your kid. It's your kid.
We're talking about Boston too. Like
Yeah,
East Coast sports
they
fans are a
they're kind
different
of
breed.
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
It's a
I don't know.
different. They're kind of East Coast is the closest we can get in America to like English soccer fans or maybe the Bundesliga fans. Like they particularly. Yeah, I'd include Philly, Boston, New York as like
Like the ultras.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Not your average fan, because your average Cubs fan is just a normal person. Your average Phillies fan is just a normal person that might boo a little bit more than the average person. Same thing with Eagles and so on and so forth. But you
Right.
get your crazies that make the news and then ruin it for everybody. So,
True. True.
Cam Schitler.
yeah, now you definitely got it. Definitely got
Eh.
the Elo there.
There goes the
If you're gonna
sponsorship.
mispronounce it like that.
There goes the sponsorship. You
Well,
forgot the L,
putting
the most important
putting
letter.
feces before the worst person, like maybe arguably to be born, I think is like a great Freudian slip. I wouldn't even say it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, okay, I see what you're yeah, yeah. Yeah, I see what you're coming across there. So, very true, very true, very true.
I think we
Um,
got more sponsors, boys. I think we got
That's
more
true.
sponsors.
That's true.
Line it up.
True. Well, first and foremost, we got to hop on over to the AL Central matchup. One of the AL Central matchups of all time that happens every year known to mankind. The Tigers Guardians facing each other in the playoffs. Tigers coming off of what was it? A 10-game losing streak basically, or a 1 in 9 streak that was or like a 1 in 10 streak even to end the season. And pretty much the exact opposite for the Guardians coming in hot. Absolutely hot. Looking great. Come out. What happened? What happened, Guardians? You won a game, but you couldn't take the whole series. Scooble, free win. So you knew that was going to happen. But you had a chance in every game. And the Tigers managed to come back late in two of the games and take the series from you. Man, out of nowhere. Guardians were down 15 and a half games and made this crazy comeback to make the postseason. And first round in the wild card. See you later. Disappointment for the Guardians? You just do you have to clap and be like, it was a good season. We made it this far. Or coming off of such of a hot ending to the season and just an abrupt ending. Are you angry? Are you mad? Are you upset? Are you stoic? None of the above?
I I feel like you're disappointed. Like you made that insane comeback and you have the momentum going into the playoffs. How many times have we heard whoever gets hot at the right time is the team that goes the furthest in the playoffs? And that was the Guardians. They were one of the hotter teams coming in, and to lose after making up all that ground to the Tigers is tough. It's tough. It's not like the Tigers were coming in hot too. They were coming in the opposite. So
Oh,
I think you're extremely disappointed. Although I don't think the Guardians would have gone very far. I think the Guardians would have got knocked out in the next round regardless.
Okay. Interesting.
I think the fact that they played each other matters. I do think both teams may advance out of this first round if the Guardians were paired against, I don't know, they probably would have still lost to the Yankees. Uh, I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't have made it out, but to make the comeback, but then still ultimately, fail to move forward. It's like, what was that even for? Um, Again, like I think we to me, I would be more optimistic as a Guardians fan going into next year than I think I would be a Reds fan. I'll say like I'm more optimistic for the Guardians in the future than the Reds, even looking at next season directly.
Couple interesting managerial decisions from the Guardians from Stephen Vogt, specifically debuting a major leaguer in the postseason, the sixth time that's ever happened in the MLB. Chase DeLauder got his first ever hit in the postseason. That's pretty cool, but also made an error in the first ever fly ball hit to him. So not a
Oof,
great look there.
that was
But
wild.
again, a team that doesn't have, even though it seems like they're always in the postseason, they don't have too much postseason experience and just kind of fizzled out. Their winning streak ended at the wrong time. And the Tigers are now a little bit hot and actually have gone on to win game one against the Mariners too in 11 innings.
Insane. Insane.
11 innings. And that's not including, there's no Manfred runner. This is the postseason, baby. You got to score old school style.
Dude, that game was very close to getting to the point where we were going to see non-pitchers pitching in a tied
Yep.
game because there was no relievers left in that game. So it's going to be a real interesting rest of the series for both teams, because their bullpens are thin. So they're going to need some length out of their starters. It's going to be interesting to see how they move starters around, potentially putting some in the bullpen, splitting two for game two. We'll see what they end up doing, but yeah, insane. Shout the Tigers, man. Unbelievable. They might be getting hot at the perfect time
They might
in the
be.
playoffs.
They might be. Now's the
Mariners,
time to
though,
do it. Come on,
yikes.
Mariners. You got to win that game one. Because now home
Got
field advantage is in the Tigers' favor.
It's flipped.
It's flipped around. Batting in the bottom of the ninth in the postseason, you never know what could happen. And you had a couple chances to win the game yesterday and couldn't do it. Julio looks really good, though. So that's a positive sign. Pitching looked good for the Mariners. I mean, you only gave up 3 runs. It was just better for the Tigers. And a 3-2 game. It's pretty much exactly what you want from a postseason game to start. 11 innings. It was a very exciting game, except if you're a Mariners fan. Oh, man. Do we feel bad? Mariners, it's their time, man. They've never made it to the World Series. It's their time. Ken Griffey Jr., Ichiro. Nah, man. Edgar Martinez, nah, man. Now's the time. And so far, they've kind of been a disappointment just as they've been in years past, but hopefully they can come back and win game two. Because if they don't win game two, I think Mariners are just as about done as the Yankees are.
Yep.
Hmm.
Mariners, yeah, I don't know. I think I think the world outside of New York is rooting for some version of Blue Jays Mariners or Blue Jays Tigers in the NLCS. Either combination would be very fun. Seeing one of those three teams in the World Series would be electric. Um, have we seen either any of those three teams in the World Series in our lifetime? Am I
No,
forgetting,
no.
right? Have any of them made the World Series?
In our
The
lifetime, no.
Tigers?
Oh,
No?
Tigers
Yeah.
maybe. Tigers, yeah. Tigers in
Like
what?
early
Early
2000
2010s.
Tigers?
Yeah.
Early 2010s.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
They
Maybe.
were
just
good
kind
for
of
a little
going
bit.
on the fly here, but teams that have not had success as of recent, potentially going to the World Series is a lot of fun to think about.
2012, Tigers made it to the World Series. They got swept by my second
Giants.
favorite team,
Giants, right?
Travis Ishikawa. Shout
That's
out.
right. That's right.
Buster Posey.
Crazy.
Yeah, 2012. So it was early 2010s is when
Wild.
we
That was
saw the
the
Tigers.
Giants dynasty.
But
San
they got
Francisco.
swept. That's why we don't remember they got swept. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably true.
Everyone remembers the Giants. No one remembers the
That's
Tigers.
true. That is so true.
Rip.
But yeah, other than that, man. Okay. World Series prediction now.
Now, not ooh, we've already done this, but Blue Jays are looking so hot.
Real quick.
Overreaction right now. World
Yeah.
Series right
Say
now.
it. Say
I'm
it.
gonna say Blue Jays Dodgers.
Interesting. Kick clash. Andrew?
Blue
Kid
Jays
Clash.
Brewers.
Blue Jays Brewers.
Wow. Tigers,
So
Brewers.
Tigers
No.
Brewers is what the people want. No, people want Blue Jays
Tigers,
Brewers. The people want Blue Jays Brewers.
that would be fun. That would be fun. That'd be weird for travel. Going to the friends up north.
It's
A little
close though.
Bring your passport. You'll be fine.
Very
border.
close.
Cross border.
Bring your passport.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Hey,
Paul Molitor battle.
Wait, you have a
Right here.
passport?
Where are you going?
I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to the World Series, baby.
Oh my God! Wait, you're actually prepared. Wait.
I'm planning ahead.
Okay.
Brewers,
God,
I'm going
wow.
to the Brewers Blue Jays World Series in Toronto. I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I
All right.
believe.
Let's go.
I
Nah,
believe.
I've said the Dodgers. I can't stray away from the Dodgers. So Andrew, you think if you say Brewers, do you think the Brewers are going to come up against the Phillies or the Dodgers and beat one of them?
The Dodgers.
I think
They
they're going to clear the Dodgers. Okay.
they would have to be the Dodgers.
Okay.
There's just Dodgers are inevitable. The only way you win is if you beat the
That's what I keep
Dodgers.
saying. That's what I keep saying. All right. So there you have it. AL, Yankees, Blue Jays, Blue Jays. Let's see. Is it officially over?
The
Blue
Yankees
Jays.
did put up some late runs as we were
Ooh,
recording
13-7. Okay. A
Yeah.
little five
Wow.
spot in the seventh for the Yankees, but they're still down 6.
this. Yeah.
Jeez.
When you put up a 5 spot and you're still down 6. Dang.
That's
Yeah.
tough. It's tough.
So 13-7. Let's just assume and say this game is over and the Blue Jays are up 2-0.
Yeah.
Yankees, see you later. Tigers versus Mariners. It's a crapshoot, but it's huge for the Tigers that they won game 1. So hey, Tigers Blue Jays? Tigers Blue Jays? That sounds kind of fun.
Border battle.
Sounds kind
That's a
of fun.
close.
that.
That's a close
That's kinda
series.
But here we are, knock on wood. We're jinxing everything because that was the point of this episode. We're overreacting, and
I
there
can't
you have
believe
it.
I can't believe we're getting Cubs Yankees in the World Series. It's crazy.
Cubs, that would be crazy. The crazy reverse sweeps.
Yeah.
Hey, it's only 1-0 in the Brewers series.
I think crazier would be Phillies. Yeah. I think crazier that the Phillies make the World Series than the Cubs.
No? Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I think
that's fair.
the Phillies have a better chance to make the World Series than the Cubs.
Beat the Dodgers. I guess Cubs would have to as well, probably, if in a hypothetical
No,
scenario.
because then they might have to play the Phillies if the
That's true.
Brewers. Yeah,
That's true.
We'll see. We'll see. It's too early. By the time we're recording next Sunday, everything could be completely different. It will be completely different.
We'll know the NLCS and the ALCS by next Sunday.
How about that? Scary, excited, all the above. But before we finish off here, there are still things that happen on this day in history in baseball. Did you know that? Things still happen in the postseason. And we've talked about the Blue Jays a whole bunch. And today is no other day, or I guess this segment is no other day to stop because on October 5th, 1985, the Blue Jays clinched their first ever playoff berth. So 40 years ago were the first time that the Blue Jays made the playoffs. October 5th, coming up against the New York Yankees. 7 years after they were first established as a team in Toronto, as a team in the AL, they come up against the Yankees and go ahead and win 5-1. They wouldn't end up doing much in the postseason. They would go ahead and lose to the Royals later on in the ALCS in 7 games, by the way. So they were 1 game away from the World Series, but did not make it. But the Blue Jays end up finishing the year 99-62. Crazy record. 1 game away from 100. And 99-62, you're like, wait a minute. That's only 161 games. They actually had a game canceled that season. So they could have had a 100-game win season. But it didn't happen. And they were knocked out of the postseason by the Royals. But this day in history, they made the playoffs for the first time 40 years ago today, 1985. There you have
Wow.
it. This day in history. Nothing too crazy for
Amazing.
you guys today. It is kind of winding down this day in history
Yeah.
because the later we get on into the season, the less occurrences we're going to have.
Free agent signings, maybe.
Free agent
Yeah.
signings,
Yeah.
for sure. We'll have some crazy postseason stuff, for sure. But nothing so much as like random occurrences that will happen throughout the regular season as we've had
Guy
in the
with one
past.
pinky pitches perfect game.
Exactly. That doesn't happen in the postseason as much. Because the guy
Yeah,
with one pinky's probably like fourth or fifth in the rotation. That's not fair to say. That's not fair to say.
That's crazy. All right. I got it pulled up here. Oh, we're lagging.
We're lagging. Pickle. Who did we talk about today? We talked about a lot of teams, but did we talk
did we
about
name
any
names?
players? We mentioned Judge.
Phillies. We with some Philly starters.
We did. We talked about Christopher Sanchez. We talked about Nico Horner.
Scooble,
Talked about Scooble.
the
Talked about
dog,
Julio Rodriguez.
Teoscar. I mean, guys, it's got to be
Ah,
Teoscar.
true.
It's got to be
Teoscar
That's
probably deserves the
Teoscar.
true.
most shout
It's
out.
true.
That's very true.
We were so high on Teoscar, as we should be.
This is the glitchiest it's ever been. Here we
I
go. The
think your computer's
suspense.
hacked.
Yeah.
All right.
Everything was wrong except he throws with his right hand.
Okay.
Interesting. So it's the AL East or the AL Central.
Okay.
Sounds like it's a Tigers player.
Riley
Yeah.
Green.
Sounds like it's Riley
Yeah.
Green.
Yeah.
He throws with his left hand too, doesn't he?
Let's just
Yep,
send it.
he
That's
does.
fine. We'll get the okay. So
Okay.
it's
AL
the
East.
Okay.
AL East.
AL East.
Maybe go pitcher. Lefty pitcher in the AL East. Max Fried?
No, righty. Throws righty.
Oh, throw. Oh yeah, yeah. Throws righty,
Is
bats.
it
Oh,
is
who
it is it
pitcher that
Sch-
bats
is it
lefty? I don't know.
Schlittler?
Is it Cam Schlittler?
Oh my God.
He bats righty.
Oh, we'll
Darn.
Send
get
it
the
though.
Yankees out of the way. It is the
All
Yankees.
right,
Okay.
pitcher.
Not
No.
a
Okay, that
Not a
pitcher.
kind of helps.
starter. Okay.
Um,
Is it
is
Bellinger?
it about? I
No,
mean, look at the
he's got to
age.
be like 26
Yeah.
or
Who
23.
else is a lefty on? Rice? Is it Rice?
Wait,
It
Ben
could be
Rice?
Rice?
Ben Rice. It could be Ben Rice.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
It's gotta
Yeah.
be.
Ben
It's gotta be.
Rice. He deserves a shout out too, man.
He
He's
does.
solid. He's a
He's
solid
earned his
guy.
pinstripes.
I kind of was hoping the Brewers would trade for him, to be honest.
Brewers would trade for him. The Yankees aren't
First base, man.
Yankees aren't
Yeah,
getting rid of Ben Rice. You kidding me?
for
You never
Devin
know.
Williams for the
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year.
Oh, beforehand.
Yeah. That could have, I bet you he was a name when the Brewers were mentioning the Williams trade. He definitely was. Brewers, if they didn't ask, Matt Arnold is not doing his job.
It's true. He was probably mentioned at some point.
Yeah. If not,
All right.
if they went to Chipotle, brown or
Yeah.
white rice.
Won me $5 and
No.
so rare.
There you go. Shout out, Ben Rice. Ben Rose. Well, there you have it. Let us know who you guys think are going to win the World Series. Is your team still in it? Are you overreacting? If you're a Yankees fan, sorry. But everything can change. We'll see what's going on next week. NLCS, ALCS will be decided. Teams in it will be decided by then. but we'll get there eventually. We'll get there eventually. There you have it. Don't forget to leave us a rating wherever you're listening to our podcast. Go subscribe to the YouTube. Check out our other social medias as well. And until next week, you just attended batting practice. Now you're ready to get in the game. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.